Welcome back to another episode of the Outlast Podcast. I am Travis.
I am Ron the Roofer.
Today we're talking about motivation. Who has it? Who wants it? Who needs it? And how do we stay motivated in the industry that is the roofing industry?
Yeah, it's tough. The motivation is something that you can't teach, right? It's either there or it's not, right? So, you can go so many different ways with the motivation, positive way, negative way. I think in this industry, for sure, the one thing that cannot be your sole motivation is the money. The money cannot be your sole motivation. Now, granted, we did get in this thing to make money, and we do make some pretty good money. So I'm not saying, hey, money don't mean anything. It's definitely the reason why we do what we do, but it can't be your sole motivation, because I really honestly think that you're going to get to a point where you're making so much money that you just stop trying. You just get content. You get happy. Everybody has a number, right? Everybody's number is different,
Right.
Somebody's number might be, 5 million and I'm done. 10 million, I'm done. Somebody might want to be 100 million. So don't let, that money, you'll eventually reach your number, but don't let that be your only motivation.
Don't let the money ruin you. There's a statistic that says that, the difference between somebody making $75,000 and $500,000 or a million or whatever, that there is no real difference in happiness, right? You need to have enough to pay your bills. And in this industry, $75,000 is super attainable as long as you're doing your job and you're doing it well. So like you said, money can't be your sole motivation factor. But, talk a little bit to the people about, like, Ron the Roofer. What's his motivation? Why are you in this?
Oh man, it's not one thing that motivates me. It's several things that motivate me. For one, just providing a sustainable lifestyle for my family. Being able to get my kids and my family everything that they want and need.
So number one is money.
Right?
Right.
Do that
It can be. It just can't be your sole motivation, right?
For sure.
So your family and providing for them, right?
For sure. I want to give them, and I grew up, I had a pretty good lifestyle. My dad was a roofer, as you know, he had his roofing company for many, many years. So I was a kid that kind of grew up and had most of my needs, all my needs were met, and had half of my wants, but I just want my kids to have all their needs and half of their wants met. And so that's, my kids, my family, that's a motivation for me. That's the number one motivation, God for giving me the strength and the health and wealth to do this job, to get up every day and do it. So, that's definitely, Jesus Christ is my Savior, so he motivates me to do better and be the best version of myself every day.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's so many, just helping people, man, putting people first. I think that motivates me the most. Just in this industry, you help so many people. So many people are thankful that you are able to provide a service and do it with integrity, because there's so many people that get kind of screwed over with contractors and getting roofs and just different things done of that nature. So, just helping people, for me, that's like my main motivation for sure.
No, for sure. I agree too. So my first one is obviously the same as yours. It's providing for my family, and obviously they're going to be who I put at the forefront of everything that I do. Secondly, for me, I love people too, but for me, it really is that competition. I love the thought of, it's not even just competition with the other people around, like the other roofing companies. It's the competition that when I come into the office every day, I see your truck here first, I get mad in a good way. Like, you beat me here, right? So I'm staying. I have a team of inside of this little office that we have. There's a team of us that challenge one another. So we don't even concern ourselves with the outside competition, because we got more competition inside here than I'll ever have out there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So when I see that you'll text me, and I celebrate your wins with you, but when you text me that you got 3 or 4 jobs sold in a day, and I know you're going to do an amazing job on it, those are 3 or 4 solid reviews too. And then I'm like, man, okay, I got to get 5 today.
Yeah.
And if I don't get 5, I go to bed and I'm just like, I could have did more, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that for me, it's the competition is what drives me. It's a force. And I would say that if people that are trying to get into this industry and you have questions about that, if you don't have a competitive nature, this is not the job for you.
I think that's key, man. You gotta have a competitive spirit to be a part of this. Is me and you both played team sports our whole life, and it was all we always bought into that team mentality, right? But at the end of the day, it's you versus you. It's you versus you. You make yourself better, right? And then in turn, that makes me better. It's a very friendly and healthy competition with us. It's like I said, iron sharpens iron. So like you said, if it's me and you, if we keep each other on point, then I'm not worried about any of the competitors. You know, you're my biggest competition in a good way. You know,
Yep.
so I agree with you, man.
Yeah,
I agree.
staying motivated through competition is big for me. And then and the other thing is if you don't have another driving factor, if your sole purpose is just say it's just money, say it's just competition, or say I guess those two things are the big ones for me, money and competition. But if you only have one of those and that's what your driving force, it's not sustainable. You can't sustain what we do long term without multiple passions for what we do in this industry.
Absolutely.
You gotta be able to wake up each day and say, hey, like I'm ready to conquer the day because yesterday I left this on the table, I left that on the table, and I need to be better than I was the day before.
Oh, for sure. I think it goes back to just like you said, just being a team player and being being competitive with sports so many years. You learn to hold yourself accountable for things. You learn that hey, if I'm not giving it my best foot forward, and it affect the whole team. So
it does.
You gotta be 100% in it, or it's gonna affect the whole team. And different. Every day is a different challenge, right? So every day is no 2 days are alike. So your motivation for each day will change. So that's why it's so important to not just have one motivation. So you might get to a point where your bank account looking pretty good, and now that money motivation factor is not on the forefront. You kind of in chill mode, but your family, so you'll kind of switch gears a little bit, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So you'll find different days and different things will motivate you. But I mean, for me, I eventually I want to do the roof on the Empire State Building one day. That's my dream. I want to be that big. I want to do the roof on those big, humongous landmarks. Right.
Let me talk to you about that. Right. So like, okay, so people out there that are in the roofing industry. You level up, right? You start off with a small roof. You start off at a 4. We all start somewhere. You start from the ground level, and that's the same thing with staying motivated. You start with a 14 square roof. Then you go up to a 25. Then you go up to a 50. Then you go up to 150. Then you go up to a massive church, and you're doing 500, 600 squares.
Yeah.
And then that becomes your new norm, is doing bigger jobs.
Yeah.
How do you stay motivated for that 14 square job?
You know what? I think it goes back to putting people first. You treat that 14 square job the same way you would treat that 500 square job. You treat them both the same. And if you truly, if helping people is truly one of your motivations, then it's just going to happen. You're going to treat that small roof with the same importance as you do the big roof. And sometimes it's tough. Sometimes you do need a reminder. I know even with me, just something as simple as, every job I do, I know you do the same thing, but every job I do, I try to send thank you cards out. And I got so busy. It was a smaller job. I barely made profit on the job, but it was a smaller job. And I was like, I'll send them a thank you card tomorrow. And Brian said, don't you do that. You treat that customer the same way you do your big job, So
right.
Sometimes you need that, that you need that reminder, and sometimes you get off track a little bit. But when you have the people to hold you accountable around you and keeping your core values and your motivation in line, you can't lose, man. You can't lose. So
yeah, and the motivation factor for you should be, or at least not should be, but for me is there's always that next gear. So like in a game of golf, let's just use golf for example.
Yeah.
You play golf. You're not playing with them. You just can go shoot around a golf, just you by yourself.
Yeah.
You're not competing against anybody. You're shooting against yourself.
Yeah.
But last week you went and played golf.
Yeah.
Same course, same holes, same conditions.
Yeah.
You're only trying to beat your previous score in golf, right?
For sure.
So what we're doing now is we're only trying to beat our previous best day.
Yeah.
And we've had some amazing days, but we know every day that we can do a little bit better. We can do a little bit more, or we can custom certain things to certain things, and that's what keeps me going. Is that no matter what, even if all I did was 14 square roofs, each single one of those should get a custom tailored package from me because I can be better on every job.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's always room for improvement in that aspect, and your motivations will change. Your motivations absolutely won't stay the same from day one to year 5,
right?
or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So your motivation is definitely going to change as you grow, as you scale up yourself, as the business grow. Your responsibilities are going to change. So, and then your motivation is going to change, and then your goals are going to change. So, you will kind of grow past those so quote unquote smaller jobs, and but as you scale up, you'll pass that down to the guy that's coming in behind you, and hopefully his core values align with yours were in that position, and your motivation will change a little bit. So
That's so well said, because I wasn't even thinking of bringing that up on this podcast. I mean, it changes as you grow.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, rewind 5 years ago, I never thought that I would be wanting the things that I want today. But it's because this job allows us to do that thing. It allows our brains to grow. It allows our bank accounts to grow. It allows our hearts to grow for the love of people, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's I mean, very well said, Ron. I did not think twice about that part. It's like, to the new person here that's listening, to the new roofer, you're gonna be growing every single day. And if you're not in a company that's worth being in. They should challenge you. They should make you better. They should show you opportunities for advancement. And that's a big motivation for people. Is that attaboy?
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to get somewhere where, even if it's your company, if you're thinking of starting your own, or if you're planning on joining somebody or working with another company, make sure it's an opportunity for you to grow. Make sure it's the right people around you to grow. Make sure it's people that want you to grow, because that's not always the case. Your motivation can kind of get steamrolled by other people. They might not want you to grow into where your vision is. So just make sure that all your ducks is in a row, and you're doing your research on some of these companies and some of their core values, and make sure you are able to grow, and your motivation will change as you grow. So,
and by you listening to the podcast that we have and other podcasts and making yourself better, you're growing just by listening to other people that are doing this and have been through it. So, I mean, that's a step in the right direction too.
Absolutely, yeah, and we're growing as well. So, like, our motivation will change. So yeah, I mean, it's you can go so many different ways with the motivation, with the I love the competition part of it. Just being a sports guy.
Yep.
But like I said, the key is having the people to motivate you around you, and the people that want to see you grow around you. I think that's the number one key.
It is true, man. You don't want anybody that's going to put their foot on your head while you're underwater.
No.
So, no, I think staying hungry. Stay hungry.
I was just finna say, you took the words out of my mouth, man.
Did I actually?
Absolutely, you did. The sustainability, like, for you, I mean, you've been at it for quite a while now. Like, the sustainability, like, once you get comfortable with that bracket you are in, or you get used to, the amount of squares of jobs that you're doing per year. Like, how do you sustain that, and how does that look for you? Like, this year you might have did 1,000 squares, and next year you're shooting for 1,500, 2,000.
Right. No, I want to be real with people too. Like, I was doing this trajectory, and then 2023 came, and I kind of plateaued, and I let things slide a little bit just because I was doing so much. I bit off more than I could chew, and then we had a little bit more people come in. But I mean, for some reason, I had this little fire that was kind of dwindling down, came back to life when you obviously been in the roofing industry for your whole life too, but you joined the Outlast team, and that brought something out in me that made me stay motivated, because I saw somebody that loved what they did. It was like hitting that water hose after you played outside in a basketball game outside in the 90-degree heat. You came in and you lit that fire back under me. So it's, again, that was like it was just God puts you in my life to challenge me and to keep me motivated, and all that's done is made me better at my job. It's made me better at my home. It makes me better at every aspect of my life, man. And I think surround yourself with good people. Stay motivated. Stay hungry. Don't be like Dos Equis. Don't stay thirsty.
Likewise, man. I feel the same way you do, man. It's just, I'm so grateful, so thankful to be a part of the Outlast family and to gain so much. I think you guys gave me more knowledge than I can ever give to you guys in that aspect. But, my motivation changed even from last year to now. It's I was happy with doing those smaller jobs, and now I want bigger, but I still want to treat that small customer just as important as the big one. So,
I mean, I still want you to rub it. If you get a 14-square job, or 10, or even if you get a little bitty baby garage, rub it in my face and say, look what I got today. And I should celebrate those wins with you, and have people around you that celebrate those wins. There's going to be haters all the way on your way to the top.
Yeah, no matter what.
Don't mind them. Surround yourself with people that are going to uplift you and have the same core values. So staying motivated is what we decided that we're going to do for each other, is keep each other stay motivated. And if you guys have questions or comments,
please like, comment, and subscribe. Feel free to ask us any questions that might come up, or something that you guys want us to address But yeah, keep comment, share, subscribe, so we can keep this thing going and keep giving you guys content. And I mean, with that being said, I think me and you need to be motivated to do some paperwork and sort some of these jobs out.
Saturday afternoon, let's get after it.
Let's go.
See you on the next one.